as they have not yet been convicted in a court of law. All have been charged with crimes that have impacted communities across our state. This gets to the heart of our mission to protect the American people and uphold the Constitution. Everyone deserves to feel safe and secure in their homes and their communities. Among these individuals arrested is Rico Arnold. His picture is in the upper right corner of the graphic behind me. In the early days of Operation No Escape, the FBI and Atlanta Police Department tracked down Arnold for his alleged involvement in the mass shooting on Edgewood Avenue in July that killed Santos Wyatt and injured 10 others. I also want to highlight Bettino Poon, whose picture is in the upper left corner of these posters behind me. The FBI and Chamblee Police Department tracked down Poon, who had been on the run for nearly 4 years. Authorities have been searching for this 36-year-old for the shooting of a cook outside of the Sandy Springs Venetian Bar and Grill. The 29-year-old cook was shot multiple times and, although critically wounded, survived. Poon is now behind bars and charged with 5 counts, including aggravated assault. Operation No Escape captured 26 fugitives accused of murder, homicide, or manslaughter, 8 men accused of crimes against children, 60 people accused of assault, 24 fugitives wanted on drug-related charges, and 5 others wanted for fraudulent activity. Among them, 31 were wanted for crimes in Atlanta, 25 from DeKalb County, 10 from Henry County, and 4 from Gwinnett. This wasn't just a big city effort, though. Our agents and deputy marshals, along with our law enforcement partners, rounded up 86 fugitives from outside the metro Atlanta area. 27 fugitives from Columbus, 15 were from northeast Georgia, 16 in Macon and Athens, 9 from the Augusta area, 5 from Savannah and coastal Georgia, and 11 as they went through the Atlanta airport. All this cannot have been done without the partnerships. While every part of law enforcement has a different role and responsibility, fighting violent crime is a responsibility we all share. Although our nation has made progress against violent crime, it remains a concern in too many of our communities. Those of us in law enforcement will not rest until every American feels safe in their communities and their homes. Here in Georgia, we aren't standing idly by. We are addressing violent crime through our partnerships and intelligence. We promise we will continue to work to disrupt violent gangs, drug organizations, and human traffickers whose criminal acts devastate families and communities. We want to make a lasting impact and make Georgia a safer place to live and work. Again, Operation No Escape could not have been possible without the partnerships of the United States Marshals Service and all of our local partners from throughout the state. I'd like now to introduce United States Marshal for the Northern District of Georgia, Thomas Brown.
Thank you, Paul. Good afternoon, everyone. The United States Marshals Service has coordinated with our local, federal, state law enforcement officials for years in collaboration and coordination in getting the most dangerous of individuals off of our streets. And this is just another example of what we're able to do. Working with the United States Marshals Service, the Northern District of Georgia District Office, as well as the Southeast Regional Task Force under the leadership of Chief James Joyner, we were able to work with local and state and federal law enforcement officials to remove 55 individuals off of the streets that you heard Director Brown talk about this earlier. We enjoy this collaboration. We could not get it done in the metropolitan Atlanta area if it's not for our partners in local law enforcement and state law enforcement. And we're just happy that because of that effort, not only are those individuals, but guns and rifles that have been converted to illegal machine guns are now off of the streets. And so we will continue to work closely and get that done. It's my pleasure now to introduce the Executive Director of the Atlanta Police Foundation, Dave Wilkinson.
Hey, thank you, Marshal. Again, I'm Dave Wilkinson, President and CEO of the Atlanta Police Foundation. I want to thank you all for having me here today. You know, the mission of the Atlanta Police Foundation is simply stated, and that is to create a safe city. That's what every citizen in the metro Atlanta area wants, is a safe community, of course. So the Police Foundation we spend a lot of time working with law enforcement, working with our corporate business leaders, our philanthropic leaders, and our community leaders, creating programs and initiatives that will lead to a safer city. But most importantly, those programs, it's all about preventing crime, right? And let's make no mistake that a successful operation like the one you see here today has prevented countless number of crimes on Metro Atlanta area. And we could not be more proud of being just a small part of that. I want to recognize Chief Shearbaum from the Atlanta Police Department, Deputy Chief Spann, I think it's here somewhere right here, along with Captain Carter from the Atlanta Police Department, the tremendous work they do every day to keep us all safe. I also want to recognize the amazing collaboration. You know, I've been in law enforcement for over 40 years, and I've never seen a city like Atlanta and a Metro Atlanta area where the law enforcement, both city, county, state, federal, all come together and work so closely together for a common cause of that is making the community safer for the residents. And then lastly, I just want to congratulate SAC Brown, Marshall Brown, for the just tremendous success of this program. This could not be done without leadership, and I think we all should recognize the leadership that they have given right here to make this program so incredibly important. So with that, I'll turn it back to SAC Brown for questions. Thank you.
We'll be happy to take a few questions. Yes, sir.
Can you talk a little bit about the Atlanta operation? I know this has been happening in multiple parts of the country, and was ours the biggest sort of six-week period about counting 80, 70 or so individuals over us? Or walk us through the comparison between how Atlanta and the Georgia week was compared on the parts?
I don't have all the numbers for every office around the country that's taken part in this operation, but I can tell you we currently have the most fugitives apprehended in the country. Yes, ma'am.
In addition to a great police work, what role would you say the public played in at least the apprehension of some of these suspects? What role the public plays?
Well, a core tenet for our success is the trust and cooperation of the public, and that's key every day. And so I think a lot of this success is due in part to the public's cooperation.
What was the criteria? I mean, obviously you got guys who are charged with murder and crimes against children. How did you guys go about selecting which fugitive you
We really left it up to the local agencies. We went to them and said, we're here to help you get the worst offenders off the streets. And so they brought those to us, and we worked side by side with them and the Marshal Service to locate and arrest them. Yes, sir.
Quick little follow-up when Marshall said this about taking guns off the streets. What are the ripple effects that perhaps this operation was in terms of helping prevent future crime, especially as it related to gun deaths?
That's a great question. I think it's really hard to quantify that, but certainly when you see these individuals wanted for homicides, narcotics trafficking, having illegal guns, there's certainly going to be ripple effects that stopping that chain of violence, stopping those chain of crimes throughout the cities all across the state of Georgia.
Did you say the Edgewood investigation, that application was part of this investigation?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to, I mean, we haven't seen video of this, obviously, I know it's all still pending, but any specific arrest that publicly you find interesting on those account people with a football game or maybe, anything interesting you can share?
Well, we took at least 6 murderers off the street. I don't have any specific names and don't think it's appropriate for me to even discuss that yet because we're still early in that piece of the investigation. But I can just reiterate again, some dangerous actors were taken off of the street and who have made huge negative impacts on the community. And there are probably multiple crimes by the time the FBI finish their investigations on them. But that's going to make this community sleep a lot better at night. But I wish I could get into more detail, but that wouldn't be appropriate at this point.
We've seen crime trending downward in the city of Atlanta specifically, and I'm sure across the metro. We see arrests in the dozens here with this one operation alone. What do you tell folks who still fear that crime may be an issue where they live?
Well, you brought up a great point, and I've spoken about that recently. Crime is trending down here in Atlanta and across the state of Georgia. That doesn't mean that's a time for us to rest. That's not time for us to let up on our enforcement. Until crime is at zero in every one of our communities and everybody is not victimized of crime anywhere in the state of Georgia, it's not good enough. But I can say, to the tremendous partnerships you have here in initiatives like this, we expect those numbers to continue to go down.
Hey guys, last question, okay?
Real quick, can you also elaborate with the arrest? Were there any trafficking or drug gangs that were also we were able to catch with any of these arrests?
Some of these arrests were part of narcotics trafficking groups and known gang members. These were fugitive arrests, though. They weren't enterprise investigations where at one time we came in and arrested dozens from one single entity, but they were violent, dangerous criminals as part of those groups.